Well, hi, everyone. It's Jeff and Lindsay. Welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about the stereotypes or assumptions that people make when it comes to age gap relationships. And I'm going to be honest. We know about these because when we first started hanging out together, we did research. And so we're going to talk about 4 of those and the ones that apply to us. And I think more importantly, the ones that don't apply. What's number 1?
So number 1 is gold digger, as in the female or the younger person is a gold digger. And I'll answer this first. I don't think I'm a gold digger, and the biggest example that I have of that is when we were dating, particularly our first date, I paid for myself and him. And from there on out for the next 2 years, I would pay my fair share of bills as well.
Yeah. And again, I get why that's a natural assumption. Fortunately, I am financially secure, but anything from independently wealthy. And, Lindsay's not interested in wearing the fanciest clothes, driving the nicest, newest car, living in a, giant house, which is wonderful because I don't provide any of those things. However, what I do provide is experiences that at her age, she might not have the opportunity to do. So for example, one of our first tense moments was when I offered to buy her an annual pass to Disneyland. And she's like, no, that's not necessary. It's too much. Please don't. I won that argument. And we had the opportunity to go back to the park again and again and again, which isn't necessarily a reflection of her being a gold digger. It is a reflection of her valuing experiences and wanting to have a great time. And in conjunction with that, I think it was through those experiences that we learned our relationship is based on mutual attraction and mutual care for one another. And she took great care of me every time we went to Disneyland.
Oh, that's sweet, J.A. So the second stereotype is about him, or the older man in the relationship, and that is that the older person is a playboy, meaning they're only seeking a partner based on physical appearances.
When I think of the word playboy, there's a scene in one of my favorite movies, The Dark Knight, where the Batman character is out late, he's drinking, he's got a ton of gorgeous women in a hot tub. I don't drink. I don't stay out late. I've never been anywhere with a ton of gorgeous women, let alone in a hot tub. One of our first conversations, not when we were hanging out, but actually texting, was talking about, hey, what time do you start shutting things down at night? What time do you go to bed? And her answer was 9 p.m. She's a college student. College students are historically nocturnal, but not Lindsay. Her bedtime, interestingly enough, was the same as my bedtime. And I go to bed early because I'm not a playboy.
No, he's definitely not a playboy. One memory that comes to mind is we were checking into a hotel outside of Universal Studios. The woman at the front desk was flirting with him, and I was just standing in the background just cracking up. I was laughing so hard because she was like asking him these flirtatious questions, and he was just answering. They were
Ask me a question, I'm going to answer.
They were talking about like the carpet color, and he's like, oh no, I like blue. And she's like, yeah. And he has no idea what's going on. And I found that so funny. And later I was like, she was flirting with you. And he was like, what? Yeah. So no, he's not a playboy. He's not a flirt with other women.
But if you're interested, hit me up in the comments. All right, number 3, which I think is a really important one, daddy issues. So just like Playboy relates to the older male, daddy issue relates to the younger girl. Let's talk about daddy issues.
I'm not going to say no, but I'm not going to say yes either. I think that, unfortunately, as a byproduct of humans being broken, there are a lot of tense relationships between parents and children. Nobody's perfect. Parents try their best.
Parents are people.
Parents are people. My relationship with my father is not the model relationship. However, in researching this topic a little bit more, daddy issues is a behavioral or psychological pattern that can develop from an unhealthy relationship with one's father. Some of the issues that come from that are unresolved emotional conflicts, insecurities, and difficulty trusting men. I don't think I have the first two, but when we first started hanging out, I certainly had a hard time trusting him.
Yeah, I can remember having to tell her a couple of times, I'm not the bad guy here. To be fair to Lindsay, and this has to do more with my past relationships, not necessarily parental issues, she had to remind me that she wasn't the bad person either. And if I'm being honest, I have my own dad issues. I love my dad. He and I have been, great for the last 20 years. But prior to that, he was absent. There was about a 2-decade period where we didn't spend a lot of time together and there wasn't a lot of communication. And a year ago, October, I took Lindsay to Tennessee for her version of Meet the Parents. It was easily the best visit I've ever had with my dad. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that she brings a calming presence. She's significantly grounded. She's very family oriented. And not only was it one of the best weekends, if not the best visit I've ever had with my dad, but I think it's one of our, best and favorite shared memories. And in turn, I have a great relationship with her father. I get the issues. He's a wonderful provider. Lindsay would like to have spend more time with him, go more places, do more things. And to some degree, yeah, I could be a substitute for that.
Two more things that I want to say that kind of relate to that. The first one is Jeffrey mentioned that he has his own share of daddy issues, but I want to specify that neither one of us hold a grudge against any of our parents. Yeah. Two, I do find it interesting that daddy issues and gold digger are in the same space, because if I have any daddy issues beyond what I said, it's probably the feeling of not being worthy of something. I don't think that that can coexist with being a gold digger. So, he wants to buy me a Disneyland pass and I'm like, what did I do to deserve that? So no, not a gold digger. Little bit of daddy issues.
Yeah, and I would say if you're struggling with daddy issues or parental issues, recognize, again, parents are people. They're broken just like you're broken, just like we are broken. And remember, you're going to get what you focus on. So if you focus on how they were a bad parent or how they weren't perfect, how they did all of these things wrong, and, blame, you're only ever going to find blame. If, however, you recognize maybe they did the best that they could, maybe they didn't know as much as they wanted to know or do as many things as maybe you wanted them to do, but there are some good elements. There are some positive elements. And if you focus on that, chances are you're going to be able to move not just your current relationship, but relationships with your parents forward as well.
Absolutely. So the final issue is about the male or the older person, and that is that they have control issues. Do you have control issues, Jeffrey Allen?
Well, I can't control myself. So I have absolutely little interest in investing the energy that it takes to control anyone else, let alone Lindsay. I'm not interested in telling her who she has to be, where she can go, what she can do. And that's built on trust. I trust that she's going to do the right thing. I trust that she's going to make the right decision. And I think part of that is based on this idea that what's best for Lindsay at the end of the day is what is best for me. If I dictate and dominate and say, you can only do what I think is in the best interest of me, there isn't going to be an us very much longer.
Exactly. And I think that control issues are probably, in some cases, a byproduct of a lack of communication from both ends. And that isn't an issue here. So there's no need for controlling on either side. I
would encourage you to let go of that need for control, let go of the power struggle, let go of the need to quote unquote win. Because I can tell you right now, if you're winning in the relationship, if you're winning in the argument, at the end of the day, you are going to lose. You need to be looking for win-win, and win-win doesn't come when one person dominates and one person controls.
So there you have it. No control issues, a little bit of daddy issues, not a gold digger, not a playboy.
Yeah. And if there's one of these that you would like for us to explore more, let us know in the comments below and we'll get to work on that video in the not too distant future.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We really hope you enjoyed this type of content. If you did, please leave a like, please subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below what topic you want to see explored. And where are we headed now?
So we are in Des Moines, Iowa, booked on a flight headed home to California. And right now, this is our last trip for 2024. It feels like we've been anywhere and everywhere this year, but now we get to settle down and get ready to celebrate the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Absolutely. So we'll see you soon, Mr. Jones, and we love you.